Hey gang, thanks for watching. We're fired up to show you some game film. We're fired up for week 7, and Thursday's sort of a catch-all day for us, but I'm going to start with Tarik Cohen, the little bitty Bears running back. This show really isn't all about numbers, but before I get to the film, we can show you how these last few games have gone. I mean, these past 2 games, what that would be pre and post bye week, the Bears have thrown it to Cohen 8 and 9 times. He's got it 14 of those 17 targets. Whereas the first couple weeks of the season, Cohen felt more ancillary. Lately, he's felt more like an important part of the game plan, but I don't know, for those who love box scores too much, I will say the snap count has been pretty consistent. Cohen's out there between, 26 and 30 snaps every game. Jordan Howard plays more than that. And because of size constraints in most circumstances, I mean, that's the way it's probably going to be. Now, trying to predict game flow in a backfield committee, it's a frustrating thing, right? All you need is a pick 6 or somebody fumbling at the 1, and all of a sudden someone's got a huge lead, and the role of the little guy or the big guy conceivably get more or less. I think what's heartening about Cohen, though, in these past couple of games is, well, Chicago had a really, really big lead against Tampa, and Cohen kept playing, and against Miami, they had a lead, and you might think that's a Jordan Howard type situation. Let's take a look at some of the plays from that Miami game. All right, I'm going to be honest. Cohen was largely invisible for the first half of the game until this touchdown run in the third quarter. He'd returned punts. He'd caught a couple dump-offs. And yes, we can see this is a huge running lane. The Dolphins have run a stunt with their right defensive end, and it leaves the entire offensive left side open. But to get a sense of Cohen's acceleration, watch number 20 here. Rashad Jones. Jones breaks down as Cohen is turning upfield, but watch Rashad Jones, a really, really good safety, get surprised at how fast Cohen is and how fast he gets by him. When I'm watching film, this is the kind of thing I note. Rashad Jones takes such a bad angle at a running back who's right in front of him that he does not lay a hand on the dude. Are you a handicapping enthusiast? As you'll see later in the show, I'm a bit of a handicapping enthusiast, and if you are, I can recommend BetQL. It's a free-to-download app that you can find either in your app store or at betql.co, and it will make you a better. It will show you algorithms and trend lines and where the money is, where the smart money is, where the public is. It's a really interesting and useful tool that will help you become a smarter wagerer no matter your sport. And if you download and you use the promo code Harris once you download, it will unlock all complete unfettered access to everything BetQL has to offer for 3 days. Got nothing to lose. You got a fun app to gain. So check it out at betql.co. Okay, back to exploring Tarik Cohen. This is 50 of Cohen's receiving yards Sunday from one play. This is a short post. It's the Houston route. Number 55, Jerome Baker, a linebacker, has to cover this route. And look at Cohen coming out of the break. Look at him separate. And that's basically a totally impossible ask for a linebacker. It's the kind of thing that'll drive a defense into playing more dime. At the top of his route against a linebacker, Tarik Cohen is essentially unguardable. And it could have been an even better day for him. Look at this funky formation, which starts with Cohen, Howard, and the tight end, Trey Burton, all lined up horizontally in the backfield. And it looks like a second touchdown to Cohen, except Trey Burton is called for a shaky offensive interference penalty. By the same token, this could have been a crusher. A tie score, 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter, Bears trying to drive for the winning field goal, a fumble that probably should have cost the Bears this game in regulation, and with very small running backs. You know, Cohen is 5'8". No, he's 5'6". What am I saying? He's 5'6", 180. This is a valid concern. Then again, Jordan Howard. It happens to the big guys too. Jordan Howard wasn't punished at all after this fumble from the second quarter on the goal line. He had 19 more combined carries and targets the rest of the game. But this is part of the equation when factoring the Bears' backfield. The upshot here is that I am starting to get these Bears running backs a little bit closer together in my ranks. This week, week 7 against the Patriots, I have Jordan Howard number 20 and Tarik Cohen number 22 in standard. And then in PPR, I have Tarik Cohen 20 and Jordan Howard 23. So usable. I can't really tell you how the game flow goes, right? You can imagine a circumstance where one or the other becomes the favored running back. I will say, and I've said this a few times on my podcast, maybe the Bears' offense best self, maybe its Chiefsiest self with Matt Nagy, the former Chiefs offensive assistant, is when Tarik Cohen is getting a big role. And I think we'll see that going forward. All right, so next up, I used to host a podcast called the Harris Football After Party. But now that's callously been reduced to a couple minutes on a Thursday edition of a YouTube show because I'm really busy. We love doing that show, but here's my handicapping analysis of Week 7. My deal is that, okay, well, I forecast the lines myself, and then I compare the actual Vegas lines, and I make picks accordingly. And the thing to note this week is, man, at least insofar as it relates to my lines, the Vegas lines were pretty sharp, or else mine were pretty dumb, but I wasn't off by more than 2 points on any single game this week, which is very rare. The ones I've marked here with an asterisk are the ones I was furthest off on, and those will be my Westgate Super Contest picks. Just keep notching those positive weeks, I guess, and you can feel free to pause the video if you'd like to linger longer on these selections. All right, so we wrap up each week on this channel with an assortment of other film observations. I watch all the film from every single game. I make a lot of notes, and these are some of the plays and situations that I thought would be most interesting for you to see. Let's count them down, 5 through 1. Number 5, Devin Funchess. You know, there are times when I see a play like this, when I say, why isn't Devin Funchess a bigger star for fantasy? Look at that. Looks like he's playing catch over his nephew. I mean, look at this deep in cut. Look at him go up and get that ball. Now, it's up there either because Cam Newton knows it's the one place the defender can't defend it, or maybe Cam Newton isn't all that accurate a thrower. Then I see a play like this, where, listen, it's a completion, but this is a deep comeback, and look at Funchess try and stop himself to deceive the defender. He makes a play. I mean, he's really big, right? He practically has to release a parachute to get his body to stop. This was a good game for Funchess, but if you're looking for a reason he doesn't dominate, it's sort of his one-trick poniness. You know, it's either a play he can make with his size, or he might not be making it. At number 4, I have Kenyan Drake, and if you want to understand what I liked about Drake coming into the year, well, it's embodied in this run against the Bears. Beginning of this run, he's got a defensive tackle in his face, right? But it's that lateral quickness. He doesn't have to stop to make that elusive, evasive action to his right. And then, number 38 there for the Bears, has a beat on him in the secondary, and he cuts hard, and he spins to get away and makes it a few extra yards. A 9-yard carry that could have been negative and should have been 5. It's the kind of play average running backs don't make. Unfortunately, we also got this gem out of Kenyan Drake, trying to make him a hero down to the 1-yard line in overtime. Let's do this thing. And he fumbles, and he winds up wearing a towel over his face on the sideline out of shame. Kenyan Drake outsnapped Frank Gore 48-28 on Sunday. And I'm here to tell you, it's misleading. Miami got behind. It was hot. Gore got tired. It went to overtime. Early on, Drake was supplemental. Gore was starting. It feels hauntingly like it felt with the Colts last year. Unfortunately, as much as I've pumped him up, Drake has a ways to go. Okay, number 3. If you want to know what a disgusting performance Sunday was for the Titans, shutout at home against Baltimore, look no further than Marcus Mariota. Looked so good against the Eagles. I was so psyched. I thought Exotic Smashmouth was dead, but you can't miss this throw by this much to Taywan Taylor. One of the rare times Mariota stood in and had time, wasn't hit as he threw, a deep over. It's there. The Ravens are about to give up a 75-yard touchdown. I have my doubts about Marcus Mariota. I just wanted to show you one Calvin Ridley play. So he's lined up at the bottom of your screen here. This is going to be a deep out. And you can just compare this route to the one we saw Devin Funchess run. Ridley is selling a 9 route. He cuts. Defender kind of knows what's coming. Like, it's pretty good defensive play, but look at how Ridley comes out of that break. He comes out of it running. He does have to stop to change directions. So the route kind of mandates that he pitter-patter a little bit, but out of the pitter-patter, he springs open on the sideline. That's a hard route to run to be open on. That's a hard throw to make, too. It's disappointing that Ridley got hurt and missed the rest of this game, but you can understand why scouts thought he was an amazing route running prospect. And at number 1, I submit to you Adam Thielen, route runner. Yes, indeed. Thielen is the number 1 fantasy receiver in PPR, number 2 in standard. The numbers are great, but how does it happen? And is it repeatable? Look at these plays. All this past week against the Cardinals. This guy just tortures defensive backs. With routes like this, he's just easy to throw to. He's open all the time. Dude reminds me of Keenan Allen. You know, not amazing athletes by NFL standards, but just open all the time. You can see the defenders just not able to keep up, taking the bait time and time again. The precision and decisiveness of the footwork. We should all wish NFL receivers all had this. I don't know if Adam Thielen winds up the number 1 receiver in fantasy for the whole year, and I'll say that it's because it's hard. It's hard to have 100 yards receiving and a touchdown every single week, which is basically what Thielen has had to this point. But if you wonder how it's been happening, I mean, he's not a world-class, unbelievable athlete by NFL receiver standards, but that's how it's been happening. We thank you very much for watching this week. I hope you'll go download BetQL. If you're at all a handicapping enthusiast, use that promo code Harris. You'll get 3 full days of unfettered access to everything they've got. Really, they've been awesome sponsoring us this week. We hope you will check it out. Let's go enjoy Week 7. Thanks so much for watching. Please, please, please smash that like button, write a comment, tell us who else you'd like to see us review film on, and of course, best of all, please subscribe to our channel and then click that little bell above the subscribe button and you'll be notified whenever we post a new video.